The Sea Eats the Land at Home by Kofu Awaner. At home, the sea is in the town, running in and out of the cooking places, collecting the firewood from the hearths, and sending it back at night. The sea eats the land at home. It came one day at the dead of night, destroying the cement walls, and carried away the fowls, the cooking pots, and the ladles. The sea eats the land at home. It is a sad thing to hear the wails and the mourning shouts of the women, calling on the gods they worship to protect them from the angry sea. Aku stood outside where her cooking pot stood, with her two children shivering from the cold, her hand on her breast, weeping mournfully. Her ancestors have neglected her. Her gods have deserted her. It was a cold Sunday morning. The storm was raging. Goats and fowls were struggling in the water, the angry water of the cruel sea, the lapping of bark water at the shore. And above the sobs and the deep and low moans was the eternal hum of the living sea. It has taken away their belongings. Adina has lost the trinkets which were her dowry and her joy. And the sea that eats the land at home eats the whole land at home. So I thought this was a really good poem. I actually talked about it in my discussion. Some of the first things that jump out is some of the alliteration, the assonance, and of course the personification, where he was giving the sea human-like qualities. One of the other interesting things I found is in all of African poetry is how they tie in religion and gods, whatever they may be. And we see a couple of different examples of that. And this one even saying, calling on the gods they worship, kind of leaving that door open. Another, the whole thing with the poem is basically a bad storm on a coastal town as the ocean literally eats the town. I'm sure they saw a lot of that on the African coast with bad storms coming through and whatnot. I thought this was a really great way of depicting that narrative and depicting what happened in this particular storm that Kofu obviously experienced. So yeah, that would be my takeaway from it, and the sea that eats the land at home.